Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's happy Thursday. It's DJI Inspire 3 launch recap. And of course, you know the two gentlemen that are with me here. Haven't seen them for a while. Ron's recovering from COVID, and thoughts and prayers with Susan. Hopefully, she gets through this as well too. And glad to hear Marcus is doing well. Gentlemen, just right off the top, we're gonna go do a recap, and I think Drone DJ did a real good recap. We're gonna go through that, but I'd like to get your initial thoughts from all this.
You mean on Inspire Nation?
Yes, on Inspire Nation today.
My original thoughts are, this is such a rumored product for weeks and months now. And just yesterday, I believe it was Jasper Ellens put all the specs out. So it was almost like this morning was just like a non-event, except nailing down the price bill. And also, the other big question I had is, when will this be available? And all you could do is reserve it for now. So the only two unanswered questions are the price and when can you get it. And they were, kind of answers when you just have to reserve. So we have no idea whether it's next week, next month, whatever. So, Marcus.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that I have a lot to add, because it's a drone, quite frankly, that is so far over my head it's not even funny. However, it's definitely, all you have to do is look at the specs and see that it's for sure a big step up. That 8K sensor, etc. 1/1.8. Ron, is that bigger than a Micro Four Thirds?
I think that's basically for the FPV camera. This will have two cameras on it, of course. It'll have one camera that you view through in your monitor screen,
right,
and then that second camera, which is of course recording that 8K footage or whatever. So I'm not sure about the size that you're getting back on your screen, but whether it's a little bit bigger or smaller than what we have on our, say, Mini 3 Pro is probably
but it does have that big
on the FPV screen.
Yeah,
or this Pro, I forget what 10-inch whatever size screen it has. It all looks good.
Now, Lauren,
but what strikes me there, though, is the person that's piloting the drone. In other words, you have a pilot and you have somebody that's running the camera. The person that is piloting the drone, they're going to have a big wide-angle view of everything. And they're going to have a good 1080p, 60 frames per second back to their ground station. So they're really going to be able to see where they're flying the drone. And then, of course, that allows that camera operator to do what he needs to do. The other point is, and Ken Dono brought this up last night, is that he was hoping that there was stabilization in the flight camera, so that the person that was flying, they didn't see everything jiggling around and so forth. And it doesn't. I don't see a gimbal there, but I'm wondering if it has some kind of image stabilization.
That's a good question. One of the things Ron had said about when it's actually going to hit, Lauren dropped in the comments on Rotor Talk the other night. He said it's going to be about the middle of May.
Okay.
I've seen other people say June, but I'm going to kind of go more with what Lauren's been saying, because Lauren, 9 times out of 10, he's pretty much spot on. So I'm going to kind of go with that. One of the other things that kind of surprised me too is, okay, this really, in all honesty, this is not a one-person drone. You need a operator and you need a camera person. And if you look in what comes with the drone, only one controller comes with a drone. So automatically you have to order another controller with that. And as Ron brought up, you're going to need to get it has the main body of the camera, but you're going to have to order lenses. So, you're going to start approaching that that amount that I thought it was going to be rather quickly, with $1,300, $1,400 for lenses, and with another controller probably about the same. So you're going to be knocking on the door $20,000 here for this. So one of the things I want to do here, and we're not going to be on real long, obviously. I'm at lunch. I just ate lunch on the run here. So Drone DJ put out a great article, and I just want to go over that briefly for everybody. And of course, it's out there for your reference. But I thought it would be good to go over this because it covers a lot of the main points. And one of the other things that I wanted to say before we get going into this is, I get a lot of comments. Why are you covering something like this? Why, it's not affordable to us. And I said, I get it. And I understand that, but understand something here. Okay. More often than not, the technology you will see on like an Inspire type of drone, it will trickle down to your Mavics. It will trickle down to your minis. DJI does not waste technology. That's one of the things I've said since day one, and they're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to see some of this stuff. And this is why this is exciting, because, things that we have like in the Mavic 3 weren't there 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. This technology. So, let's take a look at this here.
Good point, Bill. Like our consumer drones are better camera drones than say the Inspire 1 was.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no question. Hey, so I got a question for both of you guys, and this is something I've never understood, and maybe you, the two guys that can answer it. Again, when they're talking about the camera that the pilot is looking through, not the main video camera, the camera that's pilot is looking through, they're bragging about the 3 micrometer pixel size. So I'm assuming bigger pixels just means it's a clearer view for the person that's looking at that live.
You have so many people have so many different discussions. A lot of people, a lot of people talk about they want all these megapixels, 100 megapixels, but other people say, no, I don't want a whole bunch of megapixels because there's small megapixels. I want bigger megapixels. So that discussion we could do a whole other show on that, Marcus, and nobody ever comes to a solid conclusion on more megapixels versus bigger megapixels. Again, that's just going down a rat hole. So there's no easy answer to that question. That's like asking Marcus, are Ford trucks or Chevy trucks better?
Yeah, well, I think I get where you're going, Ron. But I just, because DJI was bragging about it, I just was curious.
Yeah, I mean, probably, their opinion is these bigger megapixels are better. I'm not saying they're not wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you're out in the conditions. It's real bright outside or whatever. I may dare you to tell the difference between the bigger and smaller on your monitor out in bright sunlight at Snake River Canyon on a windy day.
Yeah. But it's interesting that they're talking about it for the pilot's camera, not the main camera. Anyway.
Well, again, how it looks through the main camera, is a whole different ball game than the pilot. But it's all, a lot of people say, as you just being the drone operator, that you think you're getting better pictures and video if you can see them clear on the screen, and it does make sense.
Yeah. I need to answer Barkley in the chat and Richard there. No, I can't afford one of these drones. However, what I could afford is I did buy that new Fimi Mini version 2 for $299. So yeah, I guess I'm guilty of buying a new drone.
Marcus, I did put the Inspire 3 in reserve.
Did you? Yeah.
I have it on
true confessions here on Thursday at lunchtime. We ought to just do this weekly. We can kind of cleanse the soul.
The only reason I put these things in reserve is so then I get the email to know when they're actually available to order.
Yeah, I did. I clicked the email. I clicked the link for the email today too.
Hey, the difference between me and Ron, though, Bill, is that Ron would actually know how to use that drone.
You're right. Ron would.
Here's the thing. Here's the whole thing here. We talk about why we would talk about this. Use it. Okay, if Steven Spielberg calls me tomorrow and wants me to come film, a new ET movie or something, I got to bring the Inspire 3 with me, right? But if Mary from the realty office down in the corner wants me to go over to First Street and take a couple photos of a duplex, I take the Mini 3 Pro or something, right? I mean, that's breaking it down to a nutshell. Or if I just want to go out and fly the local park or whatever, I just grab anything like the Mini 2. I mean, it's how it kind of breaks down.
Yeah. No, I get you, Ron. You're totally spot on. I guess Bill and I's point was that that you probably have the technical ability to use that camera, etc.
The camera, that's the thing.
I would be lost.
You know, again, I'd have to actually see it to know if I, you know, knew, you know, how to operate all the functions, and features of it, and of course, photos are a lot easier than video.
Right.
Well, I'm going to go over a few things here from this article, and they did a great job in condensing it. And I'm glad they did this, because going through the specs by itself raw, it takes a lot to understand. This is put out in front of you. The first one, design changes. It's a lot more streamlined. When the gear's lowered, the gimbal supports obstruction-free 80-degree upward angle shooting, and they showed that in that intro video, which is really nice. And the propellers are foldable, so you don't have to take them on and off. The Inspire 2, Inspire 1, you had to put them on and off each time. You don't have to do it.
And that was a rumor we saw a couple months ago about the folding propellers, Bill.
Yes. Now, flight time is they're hot swappable dual batteries for 28 minutes.
And that's about a 5 or 6 minute increase over the Inspire 2.
Over the other Inspire, yeah. Flight speed of up to 94 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
Ascent and descent speed has been capped at 8 meters a second. You also get a dive speed of up to 10 meters a second. Now,
so that sounds like that's a hot rod, Marcus.
Yeah, that is.
But that's pretty similar, I think, to the other Inspire, because 94 kilometers an hour. Billy used to tell me that he had his Inspire 2. He would fly it at 60 miles an hour. So that's about the same.
Yeah. Now, it does have the full frame 8K camera that they were talking about. Camera supports internal recording of 8K 25 frames per second, as well as 8K 75 frames per second Apple ProRes RAW video. And it will do full frame 4K 120 frames per second ProRes RAW video.
That is stunning. That is
and Marcus, that goes to Marcus storage concerns. Can you imagine storing all that 8K ProRes video on your little hard drive?
You better have exabytes, not terabytes. You better have exabytes, because that's what it's going to take to store this. I mean, it's just you're going to be spending more money on your computer if you buy this and you don't have a computer to handle it. You're going to be spending a lot of money on storage on your computer. I can tell you that
don't
now.
rely on your Walmart discount special.
Hey, Bill, you're on that subject, and again, I'm going to quote Ken Dono from his show last night. The point that he made, he goes, this sounds like it's really an expensive drone, and you're talking about the expense of a computer and all that, and he brought that up. He said, hey, he's going to buy a new PC, et cetera, et cetera. However, he said, okay, that sounds like spending $20,000 is a lot of money for one of these drones. But if you're a professional, you're going to pay for that in one job. So,
absolutely.
That's why those guys buy this kind of equipment.
They go out there and they can do that. Now, number 5 talks about storage. It does have 1 terabyte included, and insane amount of write speed on there. The SSD can be connected directly to a computer via USB-C cable for easy file sharing and seamless workflows. Okay.
See, that's got to be huge, right? That probably that right thing right there. I mean, anybody that messes around with much video knows how much of your day is spent just transferring video from your devices to your computer that you're editing with.
Computer, yeah. Now, this was a surprise. Precision flying system with RTK positioning technology, because and I'm just going to put a little shameless plug for my son-in-law. He flies at his work site. What he does is he works with mapping out underground utilities. That's what his company does. And part of it is they use a Phantom 4 RTK to do that, and it gets down to the centimeter. Well, they're bringing this technology to the Inspire 3 here, and this is the integrated triple GNSS system. It's GPS plus Galileo plus Beidou, is powered by built-in dual-layered ceramic RTK antennas. So you would have to set up a ground mobile station to do that, but it allows for very precise movements, which is that's pretty incredible that it's coming to a non-enterprise type of drone. In my opinion, I think that's an incredible step here. Now, new Waypoint Pro intelligent flight modes, and I really like seeing it being demonstrated on the intro video this morning. Repeatable routes and a 3D dolly. The 3D dolly is something you can go back and forth. and shape these things. And this is probably at least, several notches above what we have with the Mavic 3 from looking at it. It looks incredible. Spotlight Pro subject tracking. Again, it's just pilots can focus solely on the flight while the gimbal camera stays automatically focused on the subject. Omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. Inspire 3 is equipped with 9 visual sensors. It can detect obstacles in all directions and provide comprehensive protection for flying.
And they seem to be those fisheye style of sensors that can see everything.
Yeah, I saw that. Ultra-wide night vision FPV. Inspire 3 offers a new all 161 degrees FOV ultra-wide angle FPV lens with a 1/1/8 inch night vision sensor. Live feed ensures a clear, stabilized, low latency view for situational awareness and additional flight safety, both during the night and day. The remote controller, it's a 7-inch, 1200 nit brightness screen, and it does have a hot swappable battery in it. Features an HDMI out port. The installed DJI Pilot 2 app for Inspire ensures quick startup time. Dual control mode. Now 2 remote controls can receive transmission and control links from the drone independently, meaning a pilot and gimbal operator can be in different positions. It has OcuSync 3 Pro video transmission. For the first time, 4K 30 frames per second live feeds are also supported with a reduced 5-kilometer transmission range to satisfy the need for Ultra HD output and live streaming on set. Time sync support and DJI Pro integration. Seamless integration into professional film sets. Again, that's for professional photography right there. DJI 3 Inspire price and availability. It's $16,499. They'll purchase from DJI Store and authorized retail partners by the end of June. We're hearing May from Lauren. I'm going to go with what Lauren's saying. The package includes the Inspire 3 aircraft, Zenmuse X9 AK Air gimbal camera, RC Plus remote controllers, 6 intelligent batteries, charging hub, 1 Pro SSD, 1 terabyte trolley case, 3 foldable quick release propellers, lens carrying box, RC strap, plus other accessories. Okay, so this is it. This is the complete rundown here, guys. And one of the other things that I want to talk about here, but before we kind of wrap things up is, one of the things that actually surprised me is, I'm going out there and the first person I go to is Potato Jet, because I figured, if anybody's going to get something like this to test, if DJI is going to hand it out, it's going to be him. And there was nothing there. And I go out to the other usual suspects, and it was the same thing. I didn't see anybody. What about you guys?
No, I mean, all the videos are like officially sanctioned DJI videos from, some people shooting at beautiful locations. This follows a path that, DJI hasn't really sent out many drones ahead of time for their products so far in 2023. And plus, since this is, we'll go by what DJI say, this is scheduled for the end of June, maybe, we'll see them as we get closer to that time frame.
Yeah, and it kind of surprises me that they're doing this. I don't know why, because and I think Ron's right. I think we'll probably see some probably later this month, probably in May, kind of a time frame from some of these content creators. Because I thought for sure, maybe Potato Jet, some maybe Aldrin from Flight Path, maybe Billy, maybe Rick Smith, all the usual suspects. I went out there and I looked.
I mean, nobody had the Mini 2SE early. Nobody had the goggles Integra or RC Motion 2 early. They haven't been sending anything out this year.
Yeah, and
they
there's
don't need to, do they?
No, I think, and Marcus brings up a good point, because I'll flash back to when the Mavic 2 launch. Okay, that's the last time they launched a drone in person with an invite, with invites in the whole 9 yards. Okay, and they realized, they can do this online. All right. Well, evidently, they're now the viewpoint is, they don't need to be sending out all these drones. They can have these professionals do it, put out their videos, and this is the video that you watch, which I think, it's a good thing. But I think also too, because reviewers who get drones like this, and I'm not talking about us getting, say, even like a Fimi or a Fly Faith or a Potenzic or something like that, the big guns. And when they get this kind of, you know, there's a lot of pressure on them, okay? Because, you know, if they say, you know, this is not really, you know, what it's supposed to be, you know, they're not going to be getting anything else from DJI.
Well, you remember, Bill, you make a good point, because I'm thinking on that, and I can't think of the name right now, that carbon fiber drone that was supposedly just a step below the Inspire.
Yeah.
And it almost got universally panned, other than one reviewer up north of us that liked it. And he was the one that kept getting new versions of the drone. And the reviewers that you and I all know and love that didn't really care for it too much. Yeah, that was the last they saw of it.
Yeah, it was that was a real bomb.
And some of these drones, Bill, like you know, maybe again, DJI just was fiscally getting smarter. Mini 2 SE, there's nothing really, you know, new there. It's just the Mini 2 dumbed down. Why send a whole bunch of units out for you know, basically it's already out. And even the goggles, the new goggles in RC Motion, this is an incremental upgrade on what's already been out there. It's not like it's a big splashy new release, but the Spire 3 is a little bit different horse here.
I totally agree with you, Ron. But you just made a really good point, and I don't want to lose that. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the Inspire. But what DJI has become genius at are these incremental upgrades. You know, like you're talking about with the motion controller 2, etc., and the Integra goggles, and you know, quite frankly, the upcoming new version of the Mavic 3. They make these incremental upgrades that just probably doesn't cost them a lot in engineering, but refreshes the product enough that it creates a lot of interest from, well, people like us.
You make
we're
just
put more SKUs out there. I mentioned this a little bit on, you know, on Bill Tom's show last night. I mean, this is nothing new. We'll talk about the Mavic 3 just for a second, Bill. I know when Bill wants to get back to Inspire. But I mean, in the old days, we had 4 or 5 different Phantom 3s. We had 4 or 5 different Phantom 4s. So it's not unusual to DJI to have a whole bunch of different SKUs in the same drone. So the Mavic 3 going that direction, you know, makes sense.
Yeah, that really does, and that's a great point, guys. Both of you bring up some great points here. You know, they're you know, and a lot of people say, oh, they're milking this platform. Well, you know what? They're making money on it, and you know, a lot of times, you know, for example, with the Mini coming out with an SE version of a Mini, you know, they're providing an affordable option for people to be able to get into an entry-level drone. So, you know, it's really a win-win on both sides of the aisle. Because, you know, DJI's having more product out there, making, you know, getting profits, and they're providing a product at a reasonable price for consumers, you know, to get into drones, period. So, you know, it's a win-win all the way around. And it makes perfect sense. Why would you need to send out, for example, let's say, you know, this Mavic 3 Pro that we've seen Jasper Ellens talk about, you know, say it comes to fruition. Okay. There's no need to send out a review unit for something like that, because, you know, it's just, you know, what's the change? The camera's the change. Okay. So, you know, they'll put out a video about it. They'll show you, they'll demonstrate it, and then it's there. So it saves them a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of hassle. Plus, too, you kind of control the whole marketing aspect in-house. You know, if you're leaving these out there, and as much as you sign these NDAs and everything, you know, something's going to slip out. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to get a picture somewhere, and you know, there goes their, you know, secrecy about it. So
that is an excellent point, Bill. That makes so much sense if you're DJI.
Yeah.
Hey, well, can I make just a quick announcement? It has nothing to do with the Inspire.
Go for it.
I had my last flight with the DJI Mavic 3 yesterday. It's gone.
What happened?
I sold it.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, I'm waiting for the dramatic. You know, Marcus crashes his Mavic 3 video coming out.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I woke up this morning. My backyard is covered in snow. I mean, it's just a blanket of white. Yeah. Yeah, on the 13th of April.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. It's already like it's already 80 degrees here. Sure is the second 80-degree day in a row.
Wow.
The landscapers were here the other day. My yard looks like I could play the Masters tournament on. It's so green.
Mine does. We're fighting with our home builder now because the sod that they put in next to us or the irrigation didn't work, and a lot of it's dead. I mean, it's just dead grass over there, and they're supposed to cut. We'll see. They provide the watering. We don't pay for the watering per se. We have the HOA takes care of the watering,
Right.
and they haven't been doing it. And our grass is brown on the side of our house, and we're throwing up all kind of stuff about that. So yeah, so I know what you're saying, but poor Mark Snow. Oh my gosh, May's coming up. I mean, seriously,
that's the thing. This has been the weirdest winter. Well, it's spring, but yeah, to get to see, I don't. In fact, I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen snow this late in Idaho. But I mean, it's not just. It's covered. It's fully white. It's not just a few flakes. It is. The ground is covered.
Marcus, go right to the airport. I'll meet you in Carlin Park later on the San
My God. Well, I know that's not what this show is about, but I got to tell you, Bill, Ron really, he showed me around in Florida like no other. We had more fun, and typical of Ron Brown, what an amazing host. He knew all the cool places to go fly at. We just had nothing but fun.
I even found a secret spot Captain Ray didn't know about.
Oh, that's definitely wow.
Well,
wow.
Ron, I'm going to say both of your park spots were spots that Captain Ray didn't know about, because you found that at Du Bois Park, you found that spot to launch from, perfect spot to launch from, to go see the lighthouse and the inlet and everything. And next thing you know, Captain Ray is out there. A couple days later, who did he have with him that he was launching from there?
Oh yeah,
too,
yeah.
so.
Who did he take up there?
Yeah, his other new guy that was just getting into drones.
Steve. Yeah, Steve.
And
He's the
I
new
was
drone
giving him,
pilot, Bill.
yeah, I gave him a hard time. I said, well, that's Ron's secret spot.
Well, it was great. I had Ray on. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a great show. It was wonderful having him on to give a recap. 125 people there. Turnout was great. He said next year it's going to be a week later because Easter falls on April 1st, 2nd, somewhere around there. So he's going to make it a week later. Next year it'll be April 6th. But you know what? You know what's been incredible though? The high winds. They're really prevalent like all around Florida right now. It's like 25, 30, 35 miles an hour every day right now. So it's like next to impossible to fly. I got some kind of drone from some manufacturer. I don't know who it is on Amazon, and she's been pushing me to fly it. And I'm like, look, I can't get out there. And I show her, the app, and UV forecast. I said, it's like 30-mile-an-hour winds. I said, I'm going to take this drone up.
Yeah, you want to see your drone fly away?
Yeah. You want to see your drone go bye-bye, because that will happen with that. Yeah. I guarantee you that 100%. So,
well, typically on the east coast of Florida, when I was there, Bill, the mornings were less windy. If you waited until the late afternoon to fly, the wind was really kicking up by that point.
Yeah. See, when you go out early in the morning, on both sides of the coast, it's cool. But if you're like out past 9 o'clock to like maybe 5, 6 o'clock at night, forget it.
Hey, so kind of combining both of these subjects, that new Inspire, one of the things that I think would be really awesome would be like at next year's Florida drone meetup, if somebody had one and could get, some really genuine cinematic shots of the group and the whole. Wouldn't that be fun to see? And it would be fun for all of us amateurs to see some professionals flying a drone like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Well, you know what would be good if Ray could get somebody like a DroneWorks or somebody, I don't know who, a company here local in Florida, to come and do a demo.
Yeah. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and maybe
of course, if anybody wanted to pick up a slightly used Inspire 2 at this point, I would be checking my eBay you may get a good deal on Inspire too.
There's a lot of refurbished ones out there for sale right now from
I mean,
DJI.
but right now, after this release, is going to be a lot of fresh ones going up for sale this morning and this afternoon.
But that is, of course, the Light Bridge control system is a little bit of a limitation. But as you guys will recall, that is all that Bill Kyle flew for a long time. His Inspire 2 was his go-to drone for a long time, and he would carry it, not his Tesla, the car that he had, a little, I don't know, Ford Escort
or
or something
Escape
like
or something.
Yeah, before that, and he would carry it around in that back hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he broke the back legs on it because he would pull it out of there, and it broke those. He had to get those back legs replaced. But he flew that. I mean, that was his main drone.
That was, yeah. You're right. He flew the daylights out of that.
Right.
He really did. Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Again, the whole reason we go over things like this is, this is new technology. It's not enterprise, but it's also not consumer. But chances are really good. A lot of this technology is going to trickle down to us eventually. So I want to thank Ron and Marcus for their time today. Here at noon. It's my lunch break, which is fastly approaching its end. But I want to thank all you guys for stopping by today. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.